In this video, I'm going to show you how to save and export your project correctly. So here's a project that I made a while ago, and it has a bunch of audio in it, a bunch of MIDI. Every track has many effects on it. And so I want to make sure I collect all that and then save it, and then I'm able to export it to like an MP3 or a WAV file or something like that, so that I can email it to people. I could put it up on SoundCloud, I could put it on my phone, whatever. First thing I want to do is look at the length of my tracks. So here I see that this ends at bar 111, and there's nothing beyond that. So I'm probably going to make my export go maybe to like bar 112, make it 111 bars, just to give it a tail for any reverb that might be hanging out. Now, you may not want to do that. Maybe your track ends abruptly, and that's fine for you. I always like to pad a little onto the end, and then I can edit that again later on. But I'm going to consider this to be 111 bars long. So we're going to go to the File menu and choose Export Audio Video, and the shortcut for that is Shift-Command-R. And then here in the dialog box, I do want to render the master because everything goes through that master track. I'm going to start at 111, and the render length is going to be 111 bars. So I press 111 and hit enter. Rendering options, you don't usually have to worry about any of this stuff for now. If you do need to worry about it, you're probably advanced enough to know what it does already. If you have questions, you can ask me about it, and I will cover those on a need-to-know basis only. PCM, pulse code modulation, is what makes lossless files. So if you want to make a file that you would, for instance, burn onto a CD, or if you wanted super high quality file, you would turn that on, and then you can select either WAV, AIFF, or FLAC, a FLAC file. And these have slightly different properties, but they are going to sound about the same. Just leave the bit depth alone in general. There's not a whole lot of reason to change the bit depth at this point in time, unless you know you're going to be burning this to a CD, in which case you would choose 16-bit depth, and then you would want dither on there also because you are truncating the bits. If you want an MP3, make sure that this is on, and it encodes it at a constant bit rate of 320, which is very high quality. I don't use this upload audio to SoundCloud option because I prefer to have extra control over my uploads. If there was a video in this session, this would be activated also. And once you have these set, and I'm actually going to deactivate the PCM export, you can just click Export. You can choose where you want the file to save. I'm going to save it to my desktop. And I'm just going to let it render. It will take longer to render if there are more plugins, and if it's longer. If you have a shorter project with fewer plugins, it will go pretty fast. We're just going to give it some time here. Okay, and now if I look at my desktop, I can see it's an MP3 right there. Now let's talk about saving. There are many files in this session, and I would prefer if they were all in one location. So I'm going to go up to File, and I have a few options. I can just save like normal, and it will just save like any other program. I can create a copy of it if I save a copy. If I want to change the name of it, maybe have like a version 3 or something like that, I can use Save As. But the one I use most often is Collect All and Save. The default, when this pops up for the first time, is to have these boxes checked off, and you definitely want to have them checked on most of the time. What this is going to do is it's going to bring all of the files in the project together in one project folder. That includes files from anywhere on an external hard drive or the computer's hard drive. It will copy them into that folder. If you were using files from another project, which you can do in Live, and I highly recommend it, it will make a copy of them in the project folder. Files from your user library, whether that's samples or preset files or anything like that, and files from factory packs. So any kind of instrument settings, whatever, it will put all that information into the project folder. And I'm going to hit OK. And it did it. So now all of those files are in one location in the project folder. And if you transfer that folder to another computer or you give it to another producer you're collaborating with, you can be sure that all the files that person needs will be right there.